Hey guys, it's Mike here for another Mike's Journey. As you can tell, it's windy here in Greenwich and I'm wearing a mask. The reason I'm wearing a mask is one, it's cold, two, it's windy, and three, I've been having a very busy day. This was bought for me by my very lovely other half, Genesis Gonzalez. She got this for me for kind of a good luck on and keep moving forward in a sense. And today I want to talk about kind of a few things, you know, in terms of society, in terms of the way we are. Firstly, I want to talk about like something that I saw recently. Yeah, excuse me, I'm a bit. But something I want to say that I saw recently, which was the whole idea that people have of self-entitlement. You know, I saw a bunch of kids recently assault someone, and he was a cyclist, quite like myself. He was going through the cycle path, and this kid just like grabbed the branch and just smacked him straight into the gut with it, and he fell down. He fell off his bike, and then the 6 kids proceeded to laugh at him and try and intimidate him. So I pulled out my phone and called the police. These young men decided to crowd around me and go, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm calling the police." And one of them got in my face and said, "Well, I'm going to cut you." I just looked at him in the face and said, "Do whatever the fuck you want, because in the end, I'm still calling the police." So you can add that to the list of crimes that you're basically committing right now. They then decided to be very big men and run, which is what they do. I then went to the police station to kind of explain the whole thing with the crime. And one of the things that the police basically did was they just sat there and said, "Hey, great, do you have an address?" "No." I don't, I'm homeless. "How can you work? You're homeless." And the thing that kind of annoyed me about it is, I'm working freelance, so there's that. And secondly, I'm trying to get myself out of being homeless and go and get myself a place to stay. So there's a difference. There's disparaging difference between the homeless and the working homeless. I'm now on the category of the working homeless, trying to kind of build myself back up. I haven't begged, I haven't asked for anything, I haven't asked anyone for any money to donate towards me or any campaign that I'm working on, because, I'm trying to get myself back up. But as soon as she heard I was homeless, she just didn't take any notice. I got a phone call from her today asking me to give more information, but without the statement of the initial person who was assaulted, they're not going to do anything. They made it quite clear. So that kind of annoyed me about it. I then, moved on from the situation. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm working today. And then I've got an email from our lovely Conservative government sitting there saying to me, "Hey, help us, help Britain by donating to our campaign and get a free mug." There's only one mug here, and that's this guy. These whole austerity measures and bullshit. There's people like me who've been left out on the street, and it's also made a lot of people insensitive. I'm not gonna lie. We're in a society where people have just become very insensitive towards other people's feelings. And I'm trying to kind of work against that and build myself up. And if you look at the dislikes on my other video on suicide, there was like 6 people who didn't like what I had to say on that, because apparently telling people that you feel suicidal is not a good thing. You need to keep your mouth shut. And I've been going through that quite recently, where I've had so many people wanting me to keep my mouth shut, because apparently everything I say affects them, affects their moral standing, affects their ability to earn. If you're a YouTuber who has decided to open up a website, apparently I'm the reason why your website is dead. It's ridiculous. It really is. At the end, I think sometimes people need to accept their responsibilities. I've accepted mine. This is my fate. I've accepted it, and I'm trying to work towards building something better. And there's a lot of guys I know who are amazing people who've managed to do that, build themselves up and build themselves towards something bigger and better for themselves. And it pisses me off every time I see someone who sits there and tries to point the finger at you. Apparently the internet is the reason why friendships end, why people no longer talk to one another. If you believe that bullshit, then you really need to kind of grow up. We are people. We are responsible for our own actions. If I tell you to go fuck yourself, I'm telling you that. That's, you know, that's nothing to do with anybody else. There is no third party there. If you make a choice in life and you make a choice to do something or act a certain way to someone else, that's your choice. And, you know, it kind of, I think we kind of lose that. And there's a bit of empathy people can have, and when it comes to others, that empathy seems to be lost, because we're like, hey, what's the point? What's the point of empathizing with someone else when I've got nothing? You know, when I've got nothing, why should I empathize with that guy? Or why should I empathize with this guy? Because I've got nothing. And it should be like that. We shouldn't be sitting there discouraging anyone else. If someone wants to build themselves up and create something amazing, let them. If someone wants to do something especially great for themselves, we should support that. And it's kind of sad to see how the world is becoming more about me. It should be me. You know, and it's kind of the opposite. I try to do these videos to kind of enlighten people and show what it's like living as a homeless person, because that's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I can technically do in my surroundings, and that's, you know, build my life up and hopefully inspire some people to do the same thing, and make people realize that it's not all hopeless, despite how at times I feel or that it is, or how I feel about myself. And I think sometimes people just need to stop, relax, and say, hey, thank you, you know, thank you for believing in me when no one else does, and thank you for showing me the love and respect that no one else will show me. But it is what it is. So that's me. This is week 11 as always, as I continue to go through in terms of my homelessness. I'm now 5 months homeless, so just to let you guys know, it's nothing to, I'm not expecting. The one thing I will say, I don't expect people to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel like you owe me anything, because you don't. And I'm not here to try and get people to donate money to me to get me out of the street. You know, it's, everyone has their own problems, and I'm going to tell you that I respect the fact that everyone has their own problems in life. Just think the whole term mutual respect, and stop trying to blame other people can kind of help us. But in the end, it's up to each and every one of us to decide whether or not we can accept responsibility for our own situations. But hey, and to those of you who've been supporting me and you know, been giving me some wide words of kindness, thank you. I really mean it, and I appreciate it. So I'm off. See you again. Have a good one. Bye.